By the way, Abdul Kareem's youths are just running around.
Got my kids with me. Fatherhood.
Yes. So
fatherhood.
He's there for them.
Not fathers in the hood.
Yeah. Unlike most black men who just.
Nah, you stereotyped wicked.
Nah, I'm not alright. Then I'll just say.
Yo, bad.
I'm just being honest. Like most guys, single black guys, they live a life of raving, clubbing. Different girls. If she gets pregnant, changes chip.
Nah, it's not the way. And that is, and just to touch on that, and I've mentioned that in another interview I did. When I was working with a lot of the young brothers that were stabbed, I say young brothers, young black brothers, specifically, that was a predominant presentee to the hospital. I'll say 95% of them had no fathers around.
See,
that's going to be brutally honest.
People call us judgmental, but this is the reality, man. You can't help people unless you talk about the actual issue.
And there was a lot of single parent mothers who would be grabbing me, crying their eyes out. How can I help my son? Help my son. And then when I ask the question, where's the dad? More tears come out, or his dad's not about. So that in itself is a tragedy, and it needs to be addressed. And I think it's the elephant in the room for a lot of spaces where a lot of men don't want to take responsibility for their children, irrespective if you're with
the person or not.
You're the mother of your child. Be there for your children, take them out, as you say, tell them I love you. A lot of youths, that's one of their biggest things which allows them to go off track. Their dad's gone, but no direction.
I think a lot of these guys, like you're saying, who end up in the hospital that you dealt with, I think that if they had a role model, a father who they saw going in and out of work and every day, owned something like a shop, or had a positive role model, whether it be a plumber, whether it be IT consultant, whether it be, I don't know, a shop owner, I think if they saw what it's like to be a man, or like for example, if a son has a father who owns a shop, before he goes and burgles and does smash and grab or do that, if he's been up in the morning fixing the shelves, doing this, that and the other, helping out with building the shop, making the shop look nice, he's worked, he knows that.
There's two things here. Number one, not necessarily the father, but a father figure I think is very important. So whether it's a stepdad, whether it's an uncle, an older brother, just an older responsible man. It should be the father, but sometimes fathers pass away, incarcerated, sometimes they have to travel, whatever the narrative. But so I always ask some of the women that I have to engage in terms of when I'm working with their sons, who are the positive male role models that this. Did you? All right, Daddy's just talking. 1 minute.
Just the army ants.
Okay. The fathers, there needs to be a father figure, whether that's the brother, the uncle, the grandfather, the older brother, or look at, for example,
the one that broke up the fight.
Yeah. And if you watch his interview on Steve Harvey, he shouts out to a brother from his masjid who showed him how to pick up a shovel.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
It was amazing, but that shows that he had a positive male figure when in the absence of his father figure.
He said the man before he died, his father that was shot or killed, and that when he started going to the masjid, there was a man, an elder there, and they shafa'at them together. And he said before he passed away, he made sure that I could work with my hand and I could earn a living. That was beautiful.
So there's an old saying: give a man a fish, he eats for the day. Teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And there's an African proverb that we beat as youth workers and community workers, we beat on about, but it really makes sense. Why it went viral, which is it takes a village to raise a child. So that brother.
And what's the other saying? If they don't feel the love from the village,
if they're not inducted into the village, they'll burn it down to feel its warmth. His father wasn't about. He went into a space which is like a village, the mosque, his faith space, and there was an older man there who took the responsibility to show this younger man how to move as a man, what masculinity is. Many of these young people have, counterfeit masculinity. They don't know what masculinity is.
There's a I think what it is there's a vacuum, and that vacuum is filled with either the elders on the council estate with material things, the convertibles, the flash cards, the jewellery and stuff like that, which is earned from crime. Because you generally, if you work hard and you earn slowly. Obviously you try and work smart and do businesses that you do less work on it. But generally, if you're doing illegal stuff or like robbing and stealing or fraud or smashing grabs and stuff, you can have nice things quick.
And a lot of the young people I will see 14, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, fresh trainers, you know, £150 tracksuits. You know what I mean? They'll have like, you know, Aqua Masters on, like you're 15 years old. You know what I mean? That's the first thing I'll clock. I'll look at the trainers, look at the tracksuit, I'll assess their whole outfit. And I'll be like, okay. Yeah, I make an assumption, but I don't jump to conclusions. And through conversation, it comes out, yeah, I trap, sell drugs. Or, you know what, the way I get my money, I rob. Like, I get those testimonials, or as we call it in youth work, we get those disclosures. And it's for me to deter the young person away from that lifestyle as best as possible. You can roll with the man them, but when you feel true akhuwa, where you are beefing the next man to pay the bill for food.
Yeah.
I've gone out with the man.
Like
You go out with the man and it's just like, oh yeah. Everyone buys their own food. But when you go out with brothers, the man will just, you get up and you're ready to pay, and it's already been paid for. Come on, man.
Even just when you see another brother like on the road, or
You don't even know.
you don't know him. Will I? You
Give salams,
embrace each other like a
on,
family
man.
member. It's stuff. I remember one of the most powerful things is when I first came to the masjid. Yeah, like I'm like, you come from. I grew up in Battersea and so forth, and you know, council say single parent, no father stuff. When I like first took Shahada stuff, and I came to the masjid, it was the first time I saw grown men, yeah, like who worked, had families, and were good role models. Someone had, like, for example, brother has their own business, fixed washing machine. Another one's plumber. Another one sells mobile phones. It's the first time I saw a young black person, yeah, who was a good role model, yeah, and there was tons of them.
The village.
And the thing is, they took me underneath that. I went to be like the Prophet, but the Prophet and the companions are not around there. So these are the next after the scholars. These are the next part. These are people that are alive and you see them.
Role models. It's straight role models.
So the people
and that's why sorry to cut in. Yeah. That's why I say when a lot of the youth, like I started trying to practice at 18. You know what I mean? Before that, you know, without saying too much, I didn't see men around.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing men. Where were groups of men where I can say, right, that's a group of men?
So like I said, is that the first time when I came around the masjid, the mosque, first time I saw young black men who were responsible, were married, yeah, had children, had businesses, were working people. Yeah, so it's like the first time I literally saw Rob, because all the elder black men that I saw around Battersea, Surrey Lane, you know, lived in Brixton for a little while, this, that, they were criminals. The only ones that I saw successful, quote unquote, were criminals. So basically the people who had a convertible was someone who used to rob people, do smash and grabs, you know what I'm saying, burglars, drug dealers and stuff like that, you know. I lived in Wandsworth for a bit as well, you know. So the people in the state that had nice things were criminals. It was only when I came to the masjid where I saw the same people who looked exactly the same. Obviously they had beard, they was wearing the phobe that is that dressed, you know, their wives were dressed like, obviously Mary the Mother of Jesus, were all wearing niqab and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. Like I want to be like him. Like I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to be responsible. I want to work. I want to,
and it goes back to the whole village thing, the whole community ummah. You know, the whole narrative of a collective group of people together working together for common cause, for good. You're only gonna get that. I mean, I remember I used to chill on the estate. When I used to chill on the estate with the man, them all I would see was either people my age,
yeah,
or a few elders. But the elders didn't really chill with man like that. Yeah. They were there for about an hour and a half, gone. They were doing their thing. So, man, I didn't really see a lot of men. And when I went to the masjid and I saw 15, 16, 17 men at a time sitting down together, and I'm the youngest of the batch, or there's about a few of us younger brothers, a lot of older men, I'm like, oh, so this is how men operate as a group. Does that make sense? So it's like, oh, one of them, they'll have this business or that. Same thing with you. I'm like, okay, so that's how men operate collectively. Now, the younger generation, they don't see that. And this is why I say to a lot of men, you know, if you live on a block or live on an estate, you need to be present. If you're a man and you live on that estate, you need to be out there, washing your car with other men and be seen, not to be the scene and just running down women and be seen to be doing positive things. That vision, that's not seen anymore.